welcome back to Bruins Take after fall break. We hope you all had a wonderful fall break, and thank you for joining us once again on Bruins Take. Libby Schweitzer and Chance Hausman joining me today, and for the first time on Bruins Take, we have a very special guest. Sissy Laporte from Girls Cross Country is joining us. They got state coming up this weekend, tomorrow actually on Saturday. Sissy, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So can you give us a little bit of a preview of the cross country championship and how regionals went for you guys?
You know, this whole season we've had kind of a mindset to really take the team and have a team aspect. We're focused on individuals, of course, but we want to win as a team and be successful as a team. And so we really carried that out with our race plan at regionals. And we've been back and forth with some of the top teams in the country. I mean, you got Mountain Vista and Cherokee Trail and Arapahoe High School. And so to have 4 top 15 teams in the country in our state race tomorrow, it's going to be pretty competitive, but we're hoping to come out and perform pretty well.
So something I've been wondering is that we're in late October, and half the fall sports have already ended. You guys end this week. It's getting cold. Do you think the weather plays a part, since you are arguably the most outdoor sport there is?
You know, we really rain or shine, we will always be running. You can see us whether it's there's 4 inches of snow or no snow, we will always be outside running after school. There's really no day that we will take off because of the weather. So it actually helps us. It's nice to have some cooler days because it's been so hot this season that we like these cooler fall days, and they help us perform really well in the later half of the season.
So I have a question. So I don't know much about cross country at all, but for most sports, running to us is punishment. So why do you guys like to compete in running?
You know, the competition is kind of the reward for all the hard work we put in. I mean, most of the team has been out since June 11th. Our season is basically a 6-month-long season. We're gonna go into November. We're gonna maybe even December if we do really well at Nike Cross Country Regional Meet in Arizona next month. But we do it for each other. It's a huge team sport. It's not really that individual, and you kind of do it to support your teammates.
So for those that want to go down and support you guys, first of all, can you tell us where state will be, and then tell us what the spectator can expect if they've never seen a cross-country meet before?
So state will be tomorrow, and it will be in Colorado Springs at Norris Penrose Event Center. And it's a pretty hilly course, so that's what you can expect. Everybody goes. It's the most crowded meet you'll ever see. There's people everywhere, and the girls will be racing at 2:20 p.m. and the boys at 1 p.m.
Yeah, and it won't be very hard to find the boys because for people who don't know, they just dyed all their hair blue. I don't know. Do you know the significance of that? Is that just for state or? Yeah,
the girls actually have a little bit of red too. We all did the same thing. So it's usually tradition. We've got some traditions that we've done year to year for state. And so this is the first time they've done it blue. Usually they do the bleaching. But I think they're going to wash it out tonight. It looks a little sticky and like a mess.
All right. So thank you for joining us. Best of luck to state tomorrow. We're going to head on over to boys soccer, and Chloe Park will be joining us. Chloe has been our main play-by-play commentator for soccer this year. She's had a few overtime games. Her goal calls have gotten very exciting, to say the least. You had a game earlier this week. Tell us what's going down with boys soccer.
So boys soccer, I think their season's wrapping up tomorrow. And, they're a pretty consistent team, to be honest, but there are some games where, they show some need from improvement. And I think, going into the playoffs, they really need to focus on that and just stay a good, strong, consistent team and, match the physicality of other teams and not fall to the level of their opponents.
So right now on your screen, on the bottom line, you can see all of the boys soccer results, which is a new feature here for Bruins Take. They got 2 more games before the playoffs. So how do you think they'll end the season? And they're going to be a top 5 ranking, which is something we haven't seen for a little while. How do you think this year's team compares to years past?
Well, this year they're ranked number 3, which is, I think, very different because I think last year they were in the tournament as number 23. So I think the amount of seniors, they have 17 this year, so they have a lot of older leadership and more experience on the team, which can push them further into the playoffs. And, yeah, I mean, they're not going to be playing teams like Eagle Crest, like, in the playoffs, so they really have to, come in with the right mindset.
And you had a broadcast Tuesday night, correct? Against Arapahoe?
Yes.
Yes. And tell us how that game ended.
Against Eagle Crest?
Against Arapahoe. Against
Arapahoe.
Arapahoe.
Well, Arapahoe, I think, was ranked number 11. And, I think they could have won by a lot more, but there was just, the passes just weren't getting there. And I think, it just wasn't them usually, how they play. And so they really had to push hard and keep their endurance up for overtime. But they were able to pull it off and, leave with a win on senior night. So.
All right, so thank you for joining us for that soccer report. We're now going to welcome Ella Barclay, who's going to give us a tennis update. Ella is a women's tennis player here at Cherry Creek. Has some ties to the men's team as well. Tell us what went down at state last weekend.
Well, they all played very well, but unfortunately they lost. They got second to Regis, which happened last year, and I know all the boys were very disappointed because their mindset this year was really like a revenge season for them. So losing to Regis really hurt, but they all came out and played very well. Our number 1 doubles and 3 doubles both placed first at state, and everyone else got second or fourth.
So what do you think, even though it's the postseason, looking ahead to next year, it doesn't happen a lot historically where boys tennis will lose state 2 years in a row, and to the same team at that, what do you think next year's mindset will be, and especially the Creek-Regis rivalry, just the whole history of that? What do you think we might see next year as a early season preview for tennis?
Well, next year they will be losing, I believe, only 2 seniors, so hopefully the team will still stay strong, but they really need to, I guess, work more as a team, I would say, and put more of a team effort forward and realize that Regis is a very strong and very competitive team, and that I think when they played them, several teams played them in the finals, and for league matches, I think, not to say they were worried, but they're aware of how good Regis is, and I think they need a little more confidence and a little bit more wind under their wings to make them really play their best.
So one more note on Regis. Girls field hockey won yesterday in their quarterfinal matchup. So on Tuesday night, they'll be facing Regis as well in the state semifinal for field hockey at All City Stadium. Stay updated for that game time, but come out, support field hockey. They lost to Regis earlier in the season, so it's going to be a big revenge game. And, really just want to see them advance to the championship as they did last year. We're going to catch up on football now. Over the break, Cherry Creek had Eagle Crest. Right before the break, they had Arapahoe. Wins in both those games. But that Eagle Crest game, which was a ranked team, it was 41-3. Bruins won. I think that was a little bit, the point differential was a little bit bigger than what we're going to expect. Chance?
Yeah, Eagle Crest is supposed to be a strong team, supposed to be one of their more competitive games of the season. And I think there was a huge chip that the Bruins brought in on their shoulder for that game because, there's a lot of competitive and trash talking that goes on between us and Eagle Crest, just in general between any sport, but especially football. They really just don't like each other. And they really brought it that game, and they they obviously didn't play down to the competition, and they played as well as they could, and they beat them 41-3, which was a really good margin for them because, now we're only, 2 games left in the season, 3 games left, and that's a big thing to beat a higher-ranked team and really, push up their confidence and keep flowing through the rest of the season.
All right, so our last segment today, we got a new segment. It is called Scat Minute here on Bruins Take. Today's topic is going to have to do with the weather because it has gotten colder outside, especially the football players know they have impacted their last 2 games. It started to snow. It was, Tuesday, Wednesday afternoon. It was snowing as school was getting out. And, I'm walking down the west parking lot, and, it's a pretty scary place. There's cars going 30 miles an hour in the snow in a parking lot. And one of those cars, the driver was Miss Libby Schweitzer. Now, Libby, would you like to explain to the viewers how you came inches away from devastation?
See, no, that's wrong. See, Ben thinks I almost hit him. However, I didn't. And I know because I'm a good driver, Ben. And also, you're too small to see. So how
Libby,
would
your
I be
car
able
is
to
that
see
you have the smallest car.
No, Ben.
Let it be known that Libby does in fact drive a Mini
No
Cooper
chance.
that is about 4 feet off of the ground, and Ben is pretty close to 5'8".
Well,
So
guess what?
just by that standard, Libby can absolutely see Ben.
I could not see Ben.
But
I
Well,
was
then you're
not-
not looking straight ahead. You can't call yourself a good driver.
I also would
you
not
gotta be aware
recommend.
of everything around you.
I also would
Ben.
not recommend to anyone viewing to drive 30 miles an hour in snow in a Mini Cooper through a parking lot.
Okay, thank you for the recommendation. However, I did not almost hit you. Second, I wasn't going 30 miles an hour because I was, you know where the crosswalk is and kids cross? I was stopped, right? And then I came.
Oh, she was not stopped.
Yes, I was. I was stopped, and then I came into the parking spot, and then I saw you walk in my rearview mirror, and I was like, oh, that's Ben. And I was going to get out and say hi to you, but then you walked away before I got my stuff. But I didn't almost hit you. And I don't go 30 miles an hour in the parking lot, Chance, because I've already gotten a violation by Joe. So I've learned my lesson.
All right, so we're going to fact check Libby's driving record for next week, and that will be it for Bruins Take this wonderful week. We got big football game tomorrow night, tonight actually, cross-country states tomorrow, field hockey next week, and that will do it. Chance Hausman, Libby Schweitzer, I'm Benjamin Paris. Thank you for joining us once again on Bruins Take.